Welcome, everyone. Today, you're going to discover the full story of Costco. How a simple warehouse became a $240 billion global empire built on honesty and trust. This video will not only inspire you, but it will also help you improve your English through real storytelling, clear sentences, and powerful vocabulary. You'll also learn about business, leadership, loyalty, and why millions of people love Costco. So before we begin, make sure to subscribe for more stories that grow your mind and your English. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Birth of an Idea, 1950s to 1983. The story of Costco doesn't start with Costco. It begins much earlier. In 1954, with a man named Saul Price. Saul Price was a lawyer from San Diego who didn't come from a rich family, but he had a strong sense of justice and fairness. He believed that business shouldn't be about tricking people. It should be about honesty and value. In 1954, Saul founded a store called FedMart. It was one of the first stores in the U.S. to use the membership model. Customers had to be part of a group, like government workers, to shop there. But FedMart was more than just a discount store. It was a revolutionary idea. No fancy advertising, no unnecessary decorations, just bulk products sold at low prices inside a warehouse setting. It looked unusual, but it worked. FedMart grew fast. People loved it. But years later, after Saul lost control of the company, he left and started something even bolder. In 1976, Saul Price, now in his late 50s, started a new store called Price Club in San Diego, California. This was the real beginning of the model that would later become Costco. Price Club was different from any store in the country at that time. The store was in a converted airplane hangar. The products were sold in bulk, meaning large quantities. Customers had to pay for membership to shop. There were no ads, no decorations, no music, just concrete floors, metal shelves, and big packs of useful things. But what shocked the industry was this. Price Club sold items so close to the actual cost that it barely made profit on products. It made its money from the membership fees, not from overcharging. At first, it was created for business owners only. Small restaurants, offices, and local shops came to Price Club to buy things in bulk. But something unexpected happened. Everyday families started asking for membership too. They wanted lower prices, bigger savings. No nonsense. Saul Price agreed, and the business exploded in popularity. While all this was happening in San Diego, a young man named Jim Sinegal had started working in the retail business. He had started his career at FedMart, the same company Saul Price had started. Jim was humble, hard-working, and deeply inspired by Saul Price's values. He believed in treating customers fairly, keeping prices low, keeping things simple, respecting employees. Jim worked for years under Saul Price, learning every detail about how ethical warehouse retail worked. Later, he also worked at Price Club, gaining more experience. But in the early 1980s, Jim Sinegal met another man, a wealthy businessman named Jeff Brotman from Seattle. Jeff had a vision. Jim had the experience. Together, they were about to create something massive. In September 1983, in Seattle, Washington, Jim Sinegal and Jeff Brotman opened the very first Costco warehouse. It was built on the same core idea as Price Club, but with a few changes. They allowed both businesses and individual customers to join. They had even fewer products than other stores, focusing on best quality plus low prices. They introduced the Kirkland signature idea later on. We'll get to that. They kept everything efficient, clean, and fast. Costco was not created by marketing experts. It was created by a team who believed in fairness, logic, and long-term loyalty. What Costco offered in 1983: a membership fee of $25 per year, concrete floors, industrial shelves, large items like toilet paper, cereal, TVs, diapers, frozen food, staff that were paid better than average, zero advertisements, bulk packages, free samples, a new kind of shopping experience. Customers were curious. Some didn't understand it at first. But those who walked in saw the savings and never looked back. In just a few months, the first Costco was a success. By the end of 1984, there were 9 warehouses. By 1985, there were more than 15. The company began expanding across the west coast of the United States: Oregon, California, Arizona. The growth was slow compared to today's startups, but very strategic and careful. Jim Sinegal believed in getting every detail right before opening new stores. We're not trying to be the biggest. We're trying to be the most trusted. That mindset became the DNA of Costco. Meanwhile, Price Club was still operating, and it was also doing well. But in the early 1990s, it faced some problems, including management issues and financial challenges. Instead of becoming rivals, Costco and Price Club made a bold move. They merged. In 1993, the two companies combined under the name Price Costco. It was the perfect match. Same values, same vision, same structure. Saul Price's model and Jim Sinegal's leadership united. Here's what happened. Price Club had around 94 locations in the US and Canada. Costco had about 77 locations, mostly in the western US. Together, they now had over 170 warehouses, thousands of employees, and millions of members. But merging two companies isn't easy. There were different management styles, different supplier contracts, different systems, and different visions. Behind the scenes, there were quiet disagreements between Saul Price's family, who founded Price Club, and Jim Sinegal's team at Costco. They all respected each other. But they had different ideas about how fast to grow, how to handle operations, and who should lead. Eventually, the two sides peacefully separated again. The Price family went on to start Price Smart, a separate international business, and Costco became the final name of the unified brand. From that point forward, it was clear Jim Sinegal was in charge. After 2 years of operating under the mixed Price Costco brand, the company officially changed its name in 1995 to Costco Wholesale Corporation. This was more than just a rebranding. It was a message to the world that this company was serious about wholesale, that it would now grow with one identity, and that Jim Sinegal's vision would lead the way. Costco began streamlining operations, creating a single buying team, consolidating warehouses, and training managers under one system. This set the stage for Costco's next phase: nationwide domination. By the mid-1990s, retail giants like Walmart, Kmart, and Target were everywhere. They had thousands of stores. They advertised nonstop. They sold everything from clothes to candy. Costco was smaller, but different. Jim Sinegal knew, we don't want to be everywhere. We just want to be trusted wherever we are. So Costco opened new locations slowly, focused only on high-performing cities, used data to understand what members wanted, built large warehouses in areas where families and businesses could shop together. And because every new store was carefully planned, almost every location was profitable within a year, something very rare in retail. If you walked into a Costco warehouse in 1996, here's what you'd see. Tall shelves, stacked with massive boxes. 1 or 2 options per product. Not 20 brands, just the best value. Bulk quantities. 3 gallons of milk, 40 rolls of toilet paper, 2-pound peanut butter jars. Sample stations. People offering bites of food to try before you buy. Checkout counters that moved fast, with smiling staff. But the most unusual thing? There were no ads, no sales signs, no music, no banners. It was quiet, simple, honest, and customers loved it. Here's how quickly Costco grew from 1993 to 2000. 1993, 170 locations. 1995, over 200 locations. 1997, expanded into United Kingdom and Korea. 1999, over 300 warehouses worldwide. 2000, over $30 billion in annual revenue. Over 25 million paid members. But here's the secret. Most of those members renewed their membership every year. Costco had the highest loyalty rates in retail, and it all happened without any advertising. That loyalty became Costco's invisible engine. At the top was Jim Sinegal, the CEO and co-founder. But he wasn't like other CEOs. While others sat in glass offices, Jim walked warehouse floors, talked directly to staff, checked price tags himself, wore normal clothes, shared meals with workers, refused to take a high salary. Most CEOs earned millions in bonuses. Jim kept his salary around $350,000 per year. And he explained, "If I make too much, our workers and customers lose. That's not acceptable." And this attitude of fairness flowed through every part of the company, from top to bottom. In 1993 to 2000, Costco made bold moves internationally. Here's where they expanded. Canada, one of the first and most successful markets outside the US-Mexico, partnered with a local company to open new warehouses. United Kingdom, a competitive market, but Costco's model stood out. South Korea, one of Costco's most loyal customer bases even today. Taiwan, a small but powerful presence. But Costco didn't rush. For every country, they studied the local culture, changed packaging sizes if needed, trained local employees, kept the same values and model everywhere. That discipline made sure Costco never lost its identity, no matter where it went. Let's be clear. The 90s were not easy. Costco had to compete with Walmart's Sam's Club, handle global logistics, deal with criticism from Wall Street for slow profit, educate new customers about the membership model, manage supplier relationships for bulk pricing. But what helped Costco survive was its consistency. Prices stayed low, product quality stayed high, employees stayed loyal, members kept coming back. Every other company was changing fast. Costco was staying true. By the year 2000, Costco was no longer just a store. It had become a trusted brand, a community of smart shoppers, a company with a clear soul and a growing global presence. But the best part? Costco hadn't even begun to show what it was truly capable of. Chapter 2. Surviving the Storms. Costco in the 2000s and the Great Recession, 2000 to 2010. As the world entered the 21st century, everything was changing fast. The internet was growing. Shopping malls were everywhere. New online businesses like Amazon were starting to rise. Big retail giants were fighting for control, and Wall Street was watching every company, expecting higher profits every quarter. For most businesses, this meant one thing: grow fast, earn more, cut costs, go digital. But Costco stayed calm. It didn't rush, it didn't panic, it didn't try to be trendy. Instead, it focused on the same four pillars it always believed in: low prices, bulk quality, member loyalty, honest business. And during this decade, Costco would face its biggest test: surviving the Great Recession, the biggest global economic crash since 1929. Let's walk through every major event and decision from this era. In the early 2000s, Costco was not trying to dominate headlines. It was doing what it always did best: opening warehouses one at a time, watching customer habits, building long-term relationships with suppliers, improving member experience, and ignoring the noise around it. But retail was changing. Companies like Walmart were growing aggressively. Amazon was becoming a serious online threat. Target was winning middle-class shoppers with attractive branding. And Sam's Club, Walmart's warehouse model, was trying to beat Costco at its own game. Still, Costco had something the others didn't: real trust. Costco isn't known for flashy innovation, but in the 2000s, it made some smart, silent upgrades that helped it grow without breaking its identity. Expanding Kirkland Signature. The Kirkland Signature brand became a major focus in the 2000s. It had started in 1995, but now Costco expanded it to wines, organic products, clothing, health supplements, baby products, even luxury items like Kirkland Signature French vodka, comparable to Grey Goose. People realized Kirkland means premium, without the premium price. Kirkland was not just a store brand anymore. It became a symbol of smart shopping. Pharmacies, gas stations, and optical centers. In this decade, Costco also began adding pharmacies with low-cost generic medications, optical services for affordable glasses, gas stations near warehouses, offering cheaper fuel for members. These extra services made the membership even more valuable and kept people coming back for more than just groceries. Food court favorites. Costco's food court became famous, especially for the $1.50 hot dog and soda combo, a price that hasn't changed since 1985. Large, affordable pizza slices, chicken bakes, churros, and soft-serve ice cream. It became a tradition. Shop in bulk, eat a cheap meal, go home happy. During this time, Jim Sinegal was still the CEO, and his leadership was as humble as ever. He was walking into random warehouses to inspect them, checking prices by hand, personally reviewing store cleanliness, speaking to employees and customers directly. He still took a salary of around $350,000 per year, refused bonuses and stock manipulation, and never wanted to become a billionaire. Meanwhile, other retail CEOs were making tens of millions. But Jim always said, "If I take more, someone else, a customer or employee, gets less." His actions inspired loyalty not just from staff, but from customers too. During this decade, Costco expanded deeper into Japan. First store opened in 1999, grew significantly in the 2000s. South Korea. Costco became a favorite among Korean families. Taiwan, the UK, Mexico, with over a dozen locations by 2010. Each new country came with its own challenges, different product expectations, cultural shopping habits, packaging sizes, language barriers. But Costco did what most American companies failed to do. It respected each market. It didn't push U.S. habits. It learned from locals, and it kept its pricing model honest. Now comes the turning point. In 2008, the world economy collapsed. Major banks failed. Millions lost their jobs. Housing markets crashed. People stopped spending. Businesses shut down. For most companies, this was a nightmare. But for Costco, it was a moment of truth. Here's why. During the Great Recession, people needed lower prices, basic products in bulk, a company they could trust. Costco delivered all three. While luxury brands suffered, Costco's warehouses were still full of shoppers. Families came too. Buy affordable food for the month. Get cheaper medications at the pharmacy. Use their membership for gas savings. Get better deals than traditional grocery stores. And guess what? Costco's membership renewals stayed high. Sales stayed surprisingly strong. Employees were not laid off. The hot dog combo still cost $1.50. Here's a true moment that defined Costco's soul. In 2009, an executive suggested to Jim Sinegal, "Should we increase the price of the hot dog combo to $1.75 or $2? Jim replied, "If you raise the price of the hot dog, I will kill you. Figure it out." And they did. Instead of raising the price, Costco built its own hot dog production facilities, cut costs through smarter supply chain management, protected the price to protect customer trust. This wasn't just about food. It was about principle. Let's look at the numbers. Most retailers saw a drop in revenue. Costco still earned $71 billion in 2009, up from $64 billion in 2007. Membership renewals remained above 85%. Employee turnover stayed low. Stock prices recovered faster than most retail companies. This proved that Costco wasn't just surviving. It was winning through trust. During this decade, Wall Street kept asking, "Why aren't your profits higher? Why not raise prices like Walmart? Why pay employees so much?" Costco kept saying, "Because it's the right thing to do." They focused on long-term customer relationships, employee loyalty, ethical margins, word-of-mouth marketing. While other companies were chasing quarterly earnings, Costco was building lifetime loyalty. Between 2000 and 2010, Costco faced massive economic changes, survived the Great Recession, expanded globally, strengthened its core identity, and proved that honest business still works. While the world was focused on speed and greed, Costco showed the power of patience, discipline, simplicity, service. Chapter 3. A New Era. Costco. After Senegal and the digital expansion, 2011 to 2020. The year is 2011. Costco is bigger than ever. Over 600 warehouses, more than 55 million members, nearly $90 billion in annual revenue, a cult-like customer base. But something major was about to happen. Jim Sinegal, the co-founder and CEO, was stepping down. After decades of humble leadership, hands-on store visits, refusing to take a massive salary, and building a culture of honesty, Jim decided it was time to pass the torch. Many people inside and outside the company quietly asked, "Can Costco continue without Jim Sinegal?" The answer would soon become clear. The man chosen to become the next CEO was W. Craig Jelinek. He was not a celebrity CEO, not a flashy business speaker, not a social media name, but he was someone who had worked at Costco since 1984, managed stores, handled operations, understood the culture, learned directly from Jim Sinegal. shared the same values of humility, logic, and long-term trust. This was not a new direction. It was a continuation of the same philosophy, just with a new face at the top. And the transition was smooth. Jim didn't leave in anger or disappear. He stayed on the board and offered guidance. But Craig Jelinek now held the wheel, and Costco was entering a new world. From 2011 onward, retail entered a different battlefield. This was no longer just about price versus quality, physical stores versus bulk deals. Now the game had new rules. 1. E-commerce was exploding. Amazon had become a monster. People were ordering everything from toothpaste to TVs online. 2. Mobile apps were rising. Customers wanted convenience at their fingertips. 3. Speed became the new expectation. 2-day shipping, next-day delivery, same-day pickup. 4. Big data and personal ads were now guiding consumer behavior. Companies tracked every click, every habit. 5. Retail chains were closing. Sears, Kmart, Toys R Us, JCPenney. Even malls were dying. Costco had to decide, should we change everything or stay true to who we are? Their answer was brilliant. We'll adapt, but we won't sell our soul. Costco had already launched Costco.com in the 2000s, but now they began to invest quietly and carefully in e-commerce growth. But they did it differently. No spammy ads, no fake countdown timers, no deal of the hour pressure. They just offered bulk products, Kirkland items, appliances, furniture, electronics, and easy delivery options. By 2020, Costco's e-commerce sales crossed $10 billion per year, without ever shouting about it. They also launched mobile apps, online photo centers, digital pharmacy services, and business delivery tools. And yet, 90% of Costco's sales still came from the physical warehouse because people trusted the in-store experience more. During this time, Costco also became known for cheaper gas stations, often 10 to 20 cents less per gallon. Affordable pharmacy services, especially for members without insurance. Costco Travel, offering vacation packages, rental cars, and hotel deals. These services made the membership more valuable than ever before. Many families now said, I save more on gas and prescriptions than I pay for membership. Costco's $4.99 rotisserie chicken became legendary. They refused to raise the price, even as chicken costs rose. So in 2019, Costco made a bold move. They built their own chicken processing plant in Nebraska. Why? To control the cost of their most popular item, to ensure quality, supply, and animal welfare, and to protect customer trust again. This wasn't just about poultry. It showed how deeply Costco understood long-term thinking. Here's how Costco grew during this decade. Warehouses, 2011, 592. 2020, over 800. Revenue, 2011, $88 billion. 2020, $166 billion. Paid members, 2011, 55 million. 2020, 98 million. Membership renewal rate, US and Canada. Consistently 90% or higher. Global presence. Expanded into France, Spain, China, Iceland. Kirkland signature brand. Sales. Crossed $40 billion in annual revenue. By itself. Costco didn't grow fastest, but it grew smartest. And never lost its base. In this era, Costco had many chances to become like everyone else. But it said no to shortcuts. No massive advertising. They still don't run TV, radio, or billboard ads. They let word of mouth and member experience do the work. No social media manipulation. While other brands post memes and trending content, Costco rarely posts. And yet people talk about them constantly online. No credit traps. Costco doesn't push store credit cards with fake discounts. They offer one real credit card with real cash back. No price games. They don't do fake sales. They don't mark prices up just to pretend to lower them. The price you see is the lowest they can offer. Every day. Costco continued its tradition of paying workers more than industry average, offering full-time benefits to part-time workers, promoting from within, maintaining employee loyalty and pride. Even as retail became a high-turnover, low-wage sector, Costco stood out as a company where people stayed for 5, 10, even 25-plus years. And when the world entered the next crisis, COVID-19, this loyalty would become even more important. As the COVID-19 pandemic hit the world in 2020, Costco once again faced a moment of truth. People rushed to stock up. Warehouses were overwhelmed. Toilet paper, sanitizers, food. Shelves were emptied in hours. Here's what Costco did. Imposed purchase limits to prevent hoarding. Protected staff with masks and hazard pay. Refused to raise prices during panic. Increased delivery and pickup services. Maintained calm, clear communication. Costco also gave $2 per hour extra pay to frontline workers. Provided additional bonuses. Ensured that no one lost benefits during the pandemic. While other companies laid off staff, Costco protected them. Once again, the company proved, in every crisis, we stand by our people. Between 2011 and 2020, Costco changed leadership, entered the digital world, expanded globally, survived a pandemic, and earned the trust of nearly 100 million paying members. It did all of this without chasing hype, without abusing workers, without cheating customers, without selling its soul. Costco proved that you can evolve without becoming fake. Chapter 4. Why Costco Works. Lessons from the most trusted retailer on earth. If you had to sum up Costco's success in one line, it's this: do the right thing, even when nobody's watching. This simple rule guided every decision Costco ever made, from pricing to hiring to store design to international expansion. It's not a complicated business model. It's not driven by greed. It's not built on manipulation. It's built on trust, logic, simplicity, consistency. Now let's break down every lesson Costco teaches us. In business, in leadership, in life. 1. Price versus trust. Why Costco doesn't trick you. Most stores use psychological tricks, fake discounts. Was $79, now $39. Inflated prices, then fake sales. Limited time offers that never end. Overpriced packaging. Costco says, we won't do that. They follow a pricing rule called capped margin pricing. That means they only add 10% to 15% markup on most items. They don't raise prices just to make more money. They make most profit from membership fees, not product markups. Why is this powerful? Because customers feel safe. They know they're not being fooled. That kind of trust takes years to build. And Costco has mastered it. Simplicity wins. Fewer choices, better decisions. At a normal supermarket, you might see 40 types of toothpaste, 60 types of cereal, 100 brands of shampoo. Costco says, we'll give you just 2 or 3 of the best options. That's it. Most Costco warehouses carry only about 3,800 products, while Walmart may carry over 100,000. Why? Because too many choices confuse people. Less variety equals lower inventory cost. Fewer options equals faster shopping. Bulk orders equals cheaper prices. And because everything in Costco is curated, customers know, if it's here, it's been tested. It's worth it. This makes shopping smarter, faster, and less stressful. Kirkland Signature, the power of private trust. Costco's private label, Kirkland Signature, is not a cheap store brand. It's a premium product sold at lower prices, often made by the same manufacturers behind. Duracell, Grey Goose, Starbucks, Ocean Spray, Jelly Belly, but sold under Costco's name with honest branding. Kirkland now does over $60 billion in sales per year. What does this teach us? When you build trust first, people don't need the label. They just need the promise. In most retail companies, employees are underpaid, overworked, treated like numbers, given no growth path. Costco flips this. Their belief, happy employees equals happy customers. How they do it. Higher than average wages, starting over $17 per hour in the U.S. Benefits for part-time and full-time workers. Promotions from within. 70% of managers started at entry level. Paid vacation, health coverage, retirement plans. Result? Very low employee turnover. Smiling faces in every warehouse. Loyalty that can't be bought with money. This shows culture is not what you say. It's how you treat people every day. Costco doesn't have customers. It has members, and members. Pay to shop, renew every year, feel part of something smart, trust the company to save them money. Costco has over 125 million members, over 90% renewal rate in the US and Canada. Members who stay for decades. Why do they stay? Because they see the savings. They feel respected. They trust the system. That's the secret. Costco doesn't sell. It proves its value every time you walk in and lets you decide. Costco spends almost nothing on traditional advertising. No TV commercials, no online ads, no billboards. They rely on experience, consistency, referrals, because they believe if people love it, they'll tell others. This may seem risky, but it works because trust spreads faster than ads. Today, social media shares Costco memes, reviews, and price comparisons, not because of marketing, but because of loyalty. Costco could have done what every other company did, but it refused. It said no to flashy branding, credit card traps, false promotions, ultra-fast expansion, cheap labor, tracking user data, stock market manipulation, raising prices during panic. Every time the world changed, Costco asked, "Can we change without breaking our values?" And most of the time, the answer was yes. That's why they've survived every market shift, every competitor, every crisis. By 2023 to 2024, 850-plus warehouses in 14 countries, $240-plus billion in annual revenue, over 125 million members, over 300,000 employees worldwide, a reputation as the most trusted company in retail, a fan base that includes business owners, families, and celebrities. But the most important number is trust, something no spreadsheet can measure. Costco's story is not just about retail. It's a lesson in long-term thinking. They didn't chase trends. They stayed focused. Simplicity. They made things easier, not fancier. Consistency. They stuck to their promises every year. Value without ego. No need for fancy packaging or big claims, just results. Culture before profit. They put people first, and the profit followed. If every company did this, the world would feel safer, fairer, and more human. You can apply Costco's mindset to your own career, relationships, habits, dreams, learning journey. Be honest, don't fake success. Earn trust. Be simple. Focus on the essentials. Be consistent. Show up the same way every day. Treat people well in work or life. Respect always wins. Play the long game. Don't rush. Build something real. Whether you're a student, entrepreneur, artist, or English learner, Costco proves you don't have to be loud to be powerful. You just have to be honest and excellent. Costco was never supposed to be cool. It was never glamorous, never loud, never flashy. But it became a $240 billion company, a global household name, a business school case study, a customer favorite, an employee haven, a moral example in capitalism. It became a place where people don't feel like shoppers. They feel like family. In a world that changes every second, Costco stayed the same, and that made all the difference. This is the real, full, and complete story of Costco, from its humble beginning to its global legacy. Every part told in detail, every truth respected. If you enjoyed this story and learned something new, then share it with the world. And remember, greatness doesn't have to shout. Sometimes it looks like a warehouse with concrete floors, low prices, and loyal hearts.